Hey everyone, it's your boy, Smazamo, and today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and kinda terrifying: work culture. Specifically, we're throwing two titans into the ring, the United States and Japan. Have you ever wondered, who works harder? Americans or the Japanese? The overworked Japanese salaryman, the American hustle culture? But which one is actually more intense? So let's break down the shocking truths about working hours, vacation time, stress, and life outside the office in both countries. You might be surprised by what we find. Alright, let's talk numbers. In the US, the average full-time worker puts in about 38 to 40 hours per week. Sounds pretty standard, right? Well, in Japan, the official number is similar, but the reality is very different. Japan has this thing called karoshi, which literally translates to death by overwork. Many Japanese employees stay in the office long after their work is done, not necessarily to be productive, but to show loyalty and dedication. It's like an unspoken rule, a pressure to conform to this culture of overwork. And it's not just about the hours logged, but also the lack of breaks, the missed lunches, the constant pressure to be on. Now, I'm not saying everyone in the US is chilling on a beach after work. We have our own version of the hustle culture, the rise and grind mentality. So, while the official working hours might look similar on paper, the reality on the ground tells a much more complicated story. Let's talk overtime, shall we? Because, let's be real, that's where the real work-life balance battle is won or lost. In the US, overtime is often paid, at least in theory, and there are regulations in place to prevent exploitation. But in Japan, unpaid overtime is the norm, and people often feel pressured to stay late, even if there's no work left to do. It's like a badge of honor, a weird, twisted symbol of dedication. Some employees in Japan even resort to sleeping at their desks or in capsule hotels between shifts. That's dedication. Or maybe just a sign of a deeply flawed system. Japan's overtime culture is a serious problem. It's not healthy, it's not sustainable, and it's definitely not something to aspire to. Okay, let's talk vacation, because everyone needs a break, right? Even the most dedicated workaholic needs a chance to recharge. So, how do the US and Japan compare in the vacation department? Well, Americans get around 10 to 15 vacation days a year. Not great, not terrible. But here's the kicker. Many Americans don't even use all their vacation days. We're so caught up in the hustle, the fear of falling behind, that we end up sacrificing our well-deserved time off. Now in Japan, employees technically receive a similar amount of vacation time, but culturally, taking a vacation is often seen as selfish. In many companies, taking time off, especially if you're not senior management, is frowned upon. So, even though they have the time off, many Japanese employees are afraid to actually use it, which means both countries are pretty bad at relaxing, but Japan might just take the cake in the workaholism Olympics. Let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the stress monster under the desk: mental health. Both the US and Japan struggle with stress and burnout, but Japan's issue runs deeper than just long hours. The pressure to conform, to stay quiet, to work endlessly without complaint, has serious consequences for mental well-being. And the stigma surrounding mental health in Japan prevents many from seeking help when they need it most. Now, the US isn't exactly a utopia of mental wellness. We have our own issues with access to affordable therapy, the pressure to power through, and the stigma surrounding mental health. But there is a growing awareness, especially among younger generations, of the importance of mental health. We're not perfect, but at least the conversation is starting to change. So, where does this leave us? Who wins the Work-Life Balance Award? Well, spoiler alert, nobody really wins. Both the US and Japan have serious flaws in their work cultures, but there are glimmers of hope, signs of change on the horizon. In the US, younger generations are starting to push back against the always-on mentality. They're prioritizing flexibility, remote work options, and clear boundaries between their professional and personal lives. And in Japan, while change is slow, it is happening. Companies are starting to experiment with shorter work weeks, remote work options, and even encouraging employees to actually take vacations. The important thing is that the conversation has begun, and hopefully, both countries can learn from each other's mistakes and successes to create healthier, more sustainable work environments for everyone. So, who wins? The US with its hustle culture and fear of vacation, Or Japan with its overtime Olympics and pressure cooker work environment? Honestly, I don't think there's a clear winner here. Both countries have a lot to figure out when it comes to work-life balance and creating healthy, sustainable work environments. Maybe it's not about working harder, but working smarter. About prioritizing our well-being, setting boundaries, and creating a world where we don't have to choose between success and our sanity. Let us know in the comments, which country's work culture do you think you'd survive in? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more global comparisons. Only here on Around the World.